We got married! Ah! Next up, of course, the honeymoon. We shall be going by plane, contrary to most of our trips where we go by car. And because of that, I only want a small project with me on the plane. Something that I can quickly stow away in my carry-on. And I had a thought. Why don't I also take this opportunity to make something for my husband to show him that I, as I promised, will love and appreciate him my entire life. So, last November he picked out this cane of Uneek fingering weight wool hand-dyed self-striping merino yarn from Urth yarns, or Urth, I don't know, made in Turkey. Anyway, he picked this up in a yarn shop in Valencia. What about we make my husband some socks? This probably must have been the longest I have been working on a project without actually talking to you and giving you updates. This has been a weird experience in filming this, but you know, on the plane, in the train, not really the environment to talk to the camera. Lots of noises. But now we are here in our little vacation holiday home in Greece, and ta-da! We have turned the heel on our first sock. And you know, Urth yarns, Uneek fingering, whatever. They didn't lie about being self-striping yarn. I had kind of expected just to have it go from their first color to the last in like a progression, but it stripes. It stripes for real. And with it being such a busy yarn, I went for a not so busy pattern, but I wanted something with a little bit of interest to keep my brain stimulated during knitting. Okay, I still have a little ways to go before we have to decrease for the dose. This is, by the way, also a sock that I knit. I think I knit this pair of socks in the trip where we actually got engaged. So that's nice to see them all together then. While knitting in public, of course, always attracts some attention, apparently knitting socks in public is the epitome of attention seeking. I'm not talking about Greece in particular, because I don't understand Greek, so I don't know what people have been saying. But when you knit socks in public or socks whenever anyone sees you knitting socks, it's like Everybody wants to tell you that they are so daunted by knitting socks. Like, they understand the mechanics of knitting on 2 needles, but 5 needles suddenly must be so much more difficult, while you're still only working with 2 at the same time, of course. I don't know why people are so daunted by knitting socks. Like my grandmom, not the one who taught me how to knit, not the one with the knitting prowess, but my other grandmom with the sewing prowess. She has told me that she has never turned a heel in her life, and she will be 90 next year. Like, Oma, what are you saying? Turning a heel is literally following a pattern. Or am I oversimplifying this? What are your experiences with knitting socks? Are you daunted by these tubes with a heel? Or do you say, yeah, it is way overblown to be scared by knitting socks? A good morning from Corinth train station. Where we are finished knitting the sock. However, apparently I wasn't clever enough to take my knitting notions with me, so I don't have a darning needle here in Greece. They're all in Belgium still. So it's going to be a 3-needle bind-off. Is this stable? I hope it is. It's a little bit more difficult than usual to film this vacation because we came by plane, which means that I could not take my tripod with me. I am used to going on holiday by car and then I can just shove the tripod wherever, but not the case right now. So you are right now precariously balanced on a lamp, and we are joined by a congregation of sparrows in the hedge. I hope they're not too loud. It's also 6 o'clock. Thank you, church bells. Anyway, our lamp pot seems to give nice framing for this shot. Very good. That's what we like. And here's an update on the sock. The very, but I mean very keen-eyed under you might see that this sock is actually a little bit shorter than it was in the previous shot. And that is because I frogged quite a bit. I took out this much of the blue yarn, because if I was going to continue like that, it would have been a blue sock up until the heel, and I didn't want that. My husband made very bold choices for his socks. He chose the yarn, I'm going to repeat, he chose the yarn. At Higher Yarn Shop, he chose this for sock yarn for himself. We stand a man that makes bold sock choices. He also said that I could just continue with my yarn where I had finished this sock, so that I didn't have to search for the exact spot to make the exact same sock. So, you know, he would be open to anything with these socks, I think. He just wants nice, warm, knitted socks made by his wife. But his wife, which is me, wanted these socks to look like they were actually a pair. Like, you know, it's going to be siblings, not twins, but I wanted them to be siblings, not cousins. So I wanted the color change to start at the same point. You know, I was knitting and I was like, no, this long blue bit, I'm not feeling it, I'm really not feeling it. I don't know what happened there. Maybe that was like the middle point of the skein, so that the colors reversed back from there. I don't know. Didn't like it. Took it out. Whoops, there it goes. The color change right now might be a little bit more abrupt, but I'm happier with how it is looking right now, with the color change being at approximately the same point as the other sock. And as I said, I stand a man who makes bold sock choices, and he did it once again. Yesterday we went to Athens, and since my husband has to go to Athens for his job every now and then, he kind of knows his way around there, and he also knows what is the best yarn shop in Athens, and apparently it is this, Malia Sakalak. It's also the oldest yarn shop in Athens because it's 90 years old. As you can see, founded in 1935. And this is the sock yarn that he chose for himself. Very colorful rainbow once again. It is Lang Yarn's Mille Colori Socks and Lace. And I myself was kind of a little bit on a sock yarn hunt as well. And for myself I bought this one, which is Lang Jawoll Magic Degradé. I just really love the combination of browns, oranges, blues, greens. And then I also could not pass up this Lang Yarn's Alpaca Socks hand-dyed skein, because it is just so, these socks will just look so happy. And I was specifically on a sock yarn hunt. Firstly, because I am in a sock knitting mood, as evidenced by the previous however many minutes. And also, my previous yarn shopping endeavors in France and in Spain resulted in a couple of sweater quantities that I have not yet touched. So I thought, yeah, you know, sock quantities, sock yarn is a safe option. I always have some kind of a sock project going on the side. Not even filming them, they just go so fast, so smooth. I just like knitting socks, and having extra sock yarn is a safe and good option for me, I think. I also just really like having colorful socks. I want to have colorful socks every day, all day of my life. And that makes me so happy about being a knitter. I can make these bold color choices for myself. My husband can make these bold color choices for himself. And I can make them. I can make it come true. Yes. Yes. Let's make this come true. We are once again joined by our congregation of sparrows. I hope this isn't the worst sound you have ever heard. I'm not a bird whisperer, so I can't tell them to go away, sadly. But what I apparently do am is a sock whisperer. We have a finished pair of socks in just over a week. We arrived here, or we came here on Sunday, and it is now the next Monday. And yes, Dries does have very big feet. And you know what they say about men with big feet? You've got to knit large socks, of course. Get your mind out of the gutter. I don't know if I have mentioned before that the pattern for this socks is called Chasing Dawn. I might not have, I might have forgotten, but now I'm telling you, and of course, as always, it is linked down in the description. But I think it is so fitting for this yarn, like it gives me the impression of being like a dawn and a sunset sock, right? What do you think? Of course, my opinion nor your opinion matters actually. So let's head over to the opinion of the receiver of these socks. Husband, here be socks.
Socks.
Yes, we want your opinion on them, me and everyone else. But for your opinion, please forget that there are still loose threads. I do not have a darn needle here. I will do that when we get home.
The socks be very colorful, which I like. They are very well fitting as well, and they don't struggle around the heel. So I think that's a win. I think that's a pretty big win. Thank you very much, wife.
So it is Monday now. We will leave Greece on Friday. I kind of want a tiny project to take with me on the plane. I brought a big project that I will probably work on right now when we are here in the holiday home, but like in the car, in the plane. Let's make myself some honeymoon socks, right? I need to love myself too unconditionally. Yeah, I need to show myself that I love myself. Let's make some socks. But I think I might use my second pair of sock needles that I brought, or well, pair, there's 5 of them, because I don't know how much stress these can still take. Like, they were very cheap bamboo needles, but straight? No, there is nothing straight about these. I started my sock yesterday. But we literally drove across the Peloponnese to visit ancient Olympia, and I might have already have an entire sock, almost. That wasn't entirely my plan, but here we are. I am mostly filming this just to show you the magic of the combination of this yarn and this pattern. Like, I could not have matched this gradient of this yarn better to this stitch pattern, even if I wanted to. And it continues, like the magic of the yarn and pattern continues even past the gusset. It's so good. I don't know if like the nuances of these colors pick up very good on camera, but like every scallop is the next part of the gradient. Just so good. Now, before we continue, let's have some free shots of my feet while I'm trying this on. Scandalous in this economy. Okay, I think I can still knit a bit. I didn't go too far as not to have anything to knit on the plane in 2 days. Yeah, I went with black cuff and heel just to visually match it to my husband's socks as well. I hope you enjoyed that free foot content. But please don't alert the foot fetishists. And we are back in our normal environment with 2 pairs of socks. 2 weeks, 2 pairs of socks. That was some speedy knitting, even though previous week's video was me trying to disprove that I'm a speedy knitter. But then again, when you have to wait like 3 hours in the airport, then be on a plane for 3 hours, also travel around in a car for some hours, yeah, you can see some days I would have spent an entire working day, so almost an 8-hour day, just knitting on these. But now we're both very toasty with all the warm love and the warm socks. I haven't shown you much of our trip to Greece, contrary to other vacation videos that I do, but there's one thing I want to share, and that is that Greece tourism has one big missed opportunity. We have visited so many museums. And in those museums, they always show off a couple of spindle whorls, yet the museum shops never sell replicas. I feel like I need to remedy that in a future video, so that is coming. My husband's opinion on his socks, you already know. I really like mine as well. They fit perfectly, and I'm going to repeat again, the combination of this yarn with this pattern is just magic all over. However, one thing, I don't know why this happens. I also had it with the blue part in the yarn for my husband's socks, but why is this green bit in this yarn so much longer than it is over here? Thank God the socks still look kind of like they go together, even though they aren't 100% matchy, because that's okay. They still look like a pair of socks. They're siblings, not twins, and these are cousins, not siblings. I also like that they kind of go together. Mine are much brighter. The green is especially the scapegoat for that. But they both have like this sunset, sunrise feelings with the black cuffs and heels and toes. So yeah, here are our honeymoon socks. Now I can continue knitting all the socks that I still have on my needles here at home. Because of course I do have a sock project on my needles somewhere. How about you? Are you also an avid sock knitter? How many sock projects have you going on right now? Or are you completely daunted by knitting socks, and hopefully after seeing this video you now know that you don't have to be, because knitting socks is just following a pattern just like anything else is. And I can make 2 pairs in 2 weeks. So you can knit your first pair of socks if you haven't already. I feel like I'm just babbling, so I'm just going to cut it short over here. Anyway, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, here are some more knitting shenanigans. Bye!